Hey everybody. Looks like we got 5, 6 people in here. Nobody chatting just yet, but you know me, I will blab for a little bit, at least for the first few minutes, to allow people to get in here that maybe didn't weren't able to get in here like a little bit earlier. You can see behind me there's Steve's shirt that says I'm a virgin, and then it says Islander. Um, Underneath that. He thinks that's funny. That's actually, hey, Blissful, that's actually a t shirt from Extraterrestrial Visitors. I think I was calling it uh, extraterrestrials from space or something. But I know it better under the title, hey, Texas. I know it better under the title of Pod People, which is it's a Juan Piquer Simone directed joint. Um, you love the Steve shirt, the I'm a Virgin Islander. um, but Juan Piquer Simone, of course, did Pieces. He did Slugs, um, and he also, I think, Pod People was maybe can't talk, maybe a kind of early joint for him. Um, and it has Trumpy, which we took some pictures of Steve with Trumpy. I can probably show you Trumpy just real quick here, which is the friendly extraterrestrial creature from the movie. Isn't he cute? I told Steve I was going to steal him. Um, I think Steve mainly wanted the a Virgin Islander T-shirt because he thought it was funny. But I really think Trumpy is the star of this bundle here. So uh, anyway, let's set him back over here. But Steve got the shirt and he got the plush Trumpy with the movie as well. And if you were planning on getting it and didn't get in on it earlier, they are sold out. I think they only had 200 copies or something like that of it. But maybe soon you can find it on eBay. But I don't know how much they're going to cost because people are probably going to go crazy with the prices. Um, Thank you, Blissful. Blissful says, please leave a thumbs up. We don't bite hard. Um, yeah, I mean, at first I was like, I don't know that I need to get it. But then when I saw Trumpy, I was like, I asked Steve, can I buy Trumpy just by himself? Because, like, I don't really need the other stuff. I mean, I could watch his copy of the movie, but I don't think that was offered. I think they offered the t shirt by itself, but not Trumpy by himself. And they also were sold out of the bundles. Hey, John. So, Blissful, he said, John, my mom was watching documentaries about the royal family wearing one of her tiaras. Oh, yeah, we had a great time last night. I filled in for Steve because he was afraid that if he participated in the Hell of the Living Dead watch along as late as it was, because I think we went on till after midnight. You know, we talked a little bit after the movie was over. Uh, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. Phantasmat was on there. Radkins was on there. Alpha Romero, Stuntman Mark. So we had, plus Uncle Bill and CK, we had a pretty big crowd, both on the stream and in the chat as well, or they did rather. But John, you say you hate. I missed y'all doing Hell of the Living Dead commentary on Dead Pit. That movie is so bad. Yeah, and there were some things that a lot of us didn't even remember being in there. We were like, "Holy crap! How did we forget this?" Probably Blissful. Steve would have fallen asleep and face planted. Not a good look. Hey, 71. So anyway, we are going to be doing a watch along for Bachelor Party, the Tom Hanks vehicle from the 80s. So we are going to get to that soon. If anybody wants to join me live on the stream, you're welcome to at any point in time, barring it being a few seconds or a couple of minutes before the movie's over, and I will be glad to have you on. Uncle Bill said something about showing up, so we'll see if he does. And hopefully he will join me live on this stream. So, um, if you need a link, I did find it. It's kind of a weird website, but it looks like it plays okay. Something about 123movie.net, but I have the link in the chat for it in case you have to watch it that way. I do have my Blu-ray of it that I'm going to be watching tonight. Um, so if you need me to repost either the link to come in live on the stream, or you need the link to the movie, that is perfectly fine. Just let me know and I will be happy to repost it for you at any point in time. If you need a timestamp at any point in time, just ask, and one of us, I'm sure, will be happy to give that to you. Exactly, TJ. We're going to find out why do good girls like bad boys tonight. Ooh, Blissful, you say you found some zombie gnomes. Awesome. And guys, I hope you don't mind me finishing up my soup. I've got like cream of chicken with herbs in it. And it's really good. My throat's still kind of bothering me. I'm feeling a little bit better now. A little bit earlier, I was not feeling so hot. I think it's all to do with this stupid sinus infection that I'm still carrying with me. Hey, Mary, you say I guess that I was Steve last night during the watch along for Hell of the Living Dead. I think I made it to a little over an hour before I fell asleep. Woke up just as the live stream ended. LOL. Well, Mayor, that happens to the best of us. I was kind of nodding off here at my computer a little bit earlier. And I was like, oh no, can't do that. I'm getting ready to do this live stream, this watch along here soon. No, Blissful is just regular old herbs, no old curly jaws branded herbs in this batch. So, or I don't think I'd be awake very long, to be honest. Okay, so before we get started, I did find the rest of my ghost hunting equipment, which I'm going to show you on the Daily Grindhouse here in just a minute or two. And I also want to share with you guys that I am going to be doing, I doubt very seriously if this is the first ever one. I'm sure somebody else has done it before me, so I'm not going to dare say it's the first ever. But I am going to do a mini investigation back here where honestly I've been able to attract the most spiritual activity over the time that I have had my ghost hunting equipment. And so what I'm going to do is a live stream Monday night. I'm probably going to go ahead and start at 7 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow night. Be there, be square, right, guys? So, for all of you that are interested in seeing me use this equipment and are curious to see if I'm actually going to be able to capture anything, um, then come on, join me for this. I probably won't be bringing the Ouija board out for this part of it. So, those of you that are a little hesitant about the Ouija board, never fear because it's not going to come out during this session. But I did ask Steve a little earlier if they want me to do a live demonstration of a Ouija board at a later time. Would you be on here with me and use the board with me? Because, there's two schools of thought on that. And I would rather err on the side of caution with this. Some people believe that if you use a Ouija board by yourself, that it opens you up to all kinds of energy, both good and evil. Okay. So I don't want to play that game. Okay. So that's why I say I'm going to err on the side of caution. So the only way I guess I would actually do a Ouija board demonstration is if Steve will still agree to come on with me and be on with me, and we put the board um, on our knees. And I don't know exactly how we're going to film it so you guys can see things, but maybe we can work out the details a little bit later. Um, so that may be coming up soon, but the ghost or the paranormal investigation will should be going on tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern time for any of you that are interested in seeing that. Tasty, you say I'm watching the movie on Stars. The link got blocked by my virus protection. Okay, yeah, that happens from some time to time. Apologies, but if you can watch it on Stars, then that is great. Yes, John, I have tons of, well, maybe not tons, but I have several pieces of ghost hunting equipment. I'm actually going to be showing the things that I could not locate the other night when I was on here showing a few things. I'm also going to show my books real quick. I'm not going to read them to you. I'm merely going to show them. There's one really thin book that was probably self-published um, that I might just read off 2 or 3 things just in preparation of this investigation tomorrow night. Bliss, well, I think it will be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. Mary said that sounds nasty. Oh, Curly's herbs makes me think they might be made of Curly's pubes. LOL. Oh man, I hope not. John, I guess not. You say, Dana, did Witchboard teach you nothing? John, you say you got to watch out for the symmetrical book stacking. Do I? I'll keep that in mind. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and play the intro for the Daily Grindhouse, and then I'm going to show some of this equipment, show these books real quick, and then we'll just about be ready to get started with the movie. So here we go. Okay, so there was that lovely intro. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. John, you say, haha, just a Ghostbuster reference. Ooh, Texas has a party bag of Cheetos. That sounds good, actually. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to move that soup out of the way so I don't knock anything against it. Um, the first thing I want to show is this K2 EMF meter. This is similar to the Gauss meter that I showed you the last time. Trying to show this where you can see it clearly. But people probably look at this and say, God, that looks like a 2-bit operation right there. This is actually from St. Augustine, Florida. There's a Ghost Augustine place that makes these and also makes another piece of equipment that I'm going to show. And what this does is it measures EMF, electromagnetic fields. Okay. So, evidently, again, when you get close to, or when there are spiritual or paranormal entities or forces or whatever way you want to look at it around you, this thing will light up like a Christmas tree, basically. Okay. But also keep in mind, as I said yesterday when maybe it was last, and that is not Ghost. Again, that's Brandon making that noise, bless his heart. It was last night or night before. I think it was last night. But when I was showing the Gauss meter, I said you have to be real careful getting in around computers and televisions and microwaves and any real big sources of electricity, because that will make things like this go crazy. It will make the Gauss meter go crazy. It will make this thing just, light up all over the place. Okay. So I'm just going to show you. I'm going to turn this on. And I don't know if you guys will be able to. I was trying to get it to a source that's going to kind of make it light up, but it's not looking like it's going to do that for me. But probably, wait a second. Here we go. You see that one little light there? That just merely means that it's on. But I'm not there. You can see it flickering a little bit. But either when there's spiritual energy around me, or I get it really close to some big electrical source, then these things will all, down here, will all light up and flicker like crazy. Okay. So right now we're only really seeing the green, or it looks greenish or yellowish on my side. But again, I was trying to get it to, you can't see it, but if the closer I get it to my computer tower, it just really, really lights up. So anyway, turn that off for now. Save the battery. Okay. So the next two things I'm going to show you, these are voice recorders. This is a voice recorder that came with my original starter ghost hunting kit. Okay. Pretty simple to use. Okay. You've got record, you've got a play and pause, and you've got a stop on here. Okay. This Olympus voice recorder I bought separately. Okay. It has a few more bells and whistles on it. It's got record and stop. It's got erase, folder designation, a calendar, menu. So this one, I'm not saying you have to have one that's as complicated as this, but this is a little more heavy duty of a voice recorder. And what I realized also is you don't necessarily have to have these, okay? You don't have to have these voice recorders. If you have a cell phone and you want to have some recording program on that phone. You could merely use it. There's really, this is not a have to thing unless you just want to have a separate EVP or voice recorder. Okay. So another thing I got was an external, like, wireless speaker, just so when I'm playing stuff back, this is a little bit stronger speaker than the internal speakers on the devices. And so the last thing I want to show you guys, well, as far as equipment, is the spirit box. This little guy, you would think that these wouldn't cost very much because they look like a mini transistor radio, right? They switch from AM to FM and all that. It also has an antenna that you can pull out on it, okay? And I can, there's also an extra microphone that came with it that you can just plug in here, and it will pick up more stuff. It does have a slider switch where you can turn it on and off. Just make sure you have it turned on. I want to turn it on here. And but my microphone doesn't seem to be working so good because when it's plugged in, you can't hear anything coming out of it. So, okay. So there you go. Exactly, Mayor. It does look like an old transistor radio. So let's just set it to start sweeping. Okay. So this sounds like a lot of nonsense, right? You don't hear anything really. And you can turn the volume up. I think I've got the volume up as loud as it will go. But generally, you don't hear anything when you just got it like this. Occasionally, it will go past the station. You'll hear a little bit of static, or I heard something slightly there. But the thing is, you leave it on this white noise, you let it sweep through the stations, okay? That's your white noise. As many people will know that dabble in this stuff, when white noise is going on, that's when you're better able to hear the spirits if they're in the mood to communicate. This thing also has a little thing in back where you can prop it up a little bit. That way it's not just laying completely on the desk. So that's where the voice recorder or the sound recording software on your phone will come in handy, because you set this up to record, and then you just start asking questions like, is there anybody here that wants to communicate? Do you know my name? Different questions. I would suggest you keep it light because, if you start asking pointed questions about, hey, I'm going to turn it off while I'm saying this because I don't really want it to answer anything like that. Like, if you start going into darker places and asking the spirits if they know when you're going to die and things like that, honestly, guys, I am not responsible for anything that you do or say with the spirit box. And I'm certainly not responsible for any responses you may get from those questions. Okay. So if you have a spirit box, okay, and you want to go start asking the spirits questions, I would suggest keeping it light, like yes or no answers, asking them if they know your name. different things like that. I'm not going to say that's not creepy because it is when they answer, but I would rather do that than ask, hey, do you know when I'm going to die and get that answer? You know, because honestly, I don't want to know from a spirit or otherwise. Okay. So just a little word of warning there. Okay. So the books I have are some books that I picked up, and I may have to go in there and tend to Brandon if he doesn't quiet down. I got these books about all except the Patty Starr book. I got these other two around the time that I was planning the ghost hunting, the investigation at Waverly Hills. Okay, right about the time I got my ghost hunting kit. So this is Ghost Hunting for Beginners: Everything You Need to Know to Get Started by Rich Newman. And it basically goes through the investigation process. It says what, they tell you what are ghosts, the popularity of the paranormal, a brief history of ghost hunting, types of hauntings, non-human entities, other types of paranormal activity, religion, demons, and inhuman entities, possession, theories about hauntings, typical haunted activity. Then part two is the actual investigation. They talk about pre investigation, being professional, research strategies, equipment maintenance, choosing your team, and in case you want other people to be in on this investigation with you. Um, Interviews, walkthrough, investigation, rally point, ground rules, neutral approach, evidence versus experience, performing day investigations, documenting an investigation, performing a vigil, using walkies in line of sight, reacting to an encounter, post investigation, psychological ramifications of a haunting, reviewing the evidence, preparing an investigation report, returning to the location, and specific types of evidence. Part three concerns the audio. What is EVP? Theories about EVP, disembodied voices, instrumental transcommunication, white noise, EVP gear needed, live EVP methods, direct computer recording, typical EVP questions, using the Singapore theory, analyze audio and editing. Analyzing audio and editing, enhancing your audio, classes of recorded EVP. Part four is all about video. Video for ghost hunting, types of video cameras, needed accessories, using a video camera, using a webcam, shooting in new spectrums, video ITC, analyzing and editing video. Part five is photography aspects, types of cameras, dangers of flash photography, shooting in full spectrum, tips for using cameras, analyzing and editing photos, and orbs and mists. Part six is environmental monitoring, EMF detectors, the paranormal battery, weather and temperature monitors, motion detectors, ion counters and projectors, Geiger counters, static electricity and dowsing rods, paranormal specific gear. Part 7 is all about dice, which is detect, interact, capture, escalate. Okay, so that covers all of the dice aspects. Part 8 is creating a paranormal group, decisions and directions, side groups, religious groups, science-based group, getting your group together, recreational versus professional, avoiding the demonic, how to get online, maintaining your group, getting your first case, and wrapping it all up. Then there's an appendix with suggested gear list, an appendix B, investigation step by step, sources, and a glossary. Okay, so I think this is the book that may have the warning in it about how to avoid uh, demonic entities. This also has cases in it. Okay. So I just wanted to read a little bit of this about avoiding the demonic because I know a lot of people are certainly concerned with that aspect of it. So, again, this is the realm of religion. If you are notified of a case that has demonic qualities or the client simply believes that they are currently being infested by demons, take a close look at the facts before accepting or declining the investigation. And this is more than likely for professionals that are actually going to go out and have clients. Okay. Let's see, separate what the client is saying from what is actually happening at the home. If the symptoms of the case point to a haunting instead of demonic infestation, then you may want to take the case. You can do this type of client a lot of good by helping them realize that they have a simple haunting instead of something more nefarious. If, on the other hand, it does sound like a religious case, inform the client that they should probably contact their local clergy. If they don't belong to any church, you can always call upon your own contacts to help them out in this regard. Sometimes symptoms of a negative entity or demonic infestation can even be mundane things at a location. For instance, if somebody reports experiencing a sickening feeling in a particular area, you may want to do a thorough sweep with an EMF detector. People can actually be hypersensitive to electromagnetic fields, an affliction that can make people sick to their stomachs, have headaches, and even hallucinate if the field is strong enough. However, people can also be similarly affected by things like natural gas leaks and high barometric pressure. Okay, so the next book is the one that I said is pretty thin. This is by Randall Kropp. Ghost Hunting, Beginner's Guide to Investigating the Dead. This one's a little more cut and dried. I do believe this must have been self-published. Um, this was actually an ebook too, but I actually got the print version. Um, so it breaks things out pretty simply. So if you're a beginning ghost hunter, this might be the way to go for you. So it breaks down what the definition of a ghost is. Dealing in demons. This does have a section on demons. It says, maybe you're on board with my concept of spiritual energy, but that could leave you wondering about demons and poltergeists. If you spend even a minute of your time dealing in the paranormal, then you've no doubt read about these spiritual troublemakers. How do we weigh the concept of our personal spiritual energy against something that may never have been human at all? The concept of demonic entities can be traced back all the way to ancient Greek mythology, so the status of the world, well, the status of the word has changed over time. Demons, as we know them, have been made more popular by Christian religion and Hollywood crafted entertainment. So the source is neither here nor there. We're here to discuss what a demon actually is. The most commonly accepted idea of a demon is thus an evil spirit that seeks to do you harm. Again, that is a dictionary type definition that wraps the word up with a neat little bow. However, there is much more going on here than what we can explain with simple words. In my personal experience, which has thankfully been rather limited in this regard, demons are spirits that represent our most basic negative desires. They are spirits that want to do damage in any way they can. This could manifest itself in sowing discord among friends, promoting violence, or even an actual out and out possession. The movies get a lot wrong when dealing with the paranormal, but the concept of possession is as real as it is scary. We can turn to the Bible for what we believe is an accurate depiction of what a demon actually is. And then it goes on to a passage from Matthew 12:43, King James Version. And I'm not going to preach the Bible to you or anything like that. So this will go into what kind of tools you need. some of the author's favorite ghost hunting techniques, putting together your team, conducting your first ghost hunt, and then it's got some closing thoughts. So, the last book is the one book that I've had the longest. This is the book by Patty Starr, Kentucky lady. This is Ghost Hunting in Kentucky and Beyond. And there is Miss Patty Starr there. I'm not sure how old Patty is now. She's definitely older than the picture there. Okay. So she actually goes through how to conduct a ghost investigation. She goes through some evidence that her and her husband have been able to collect over the years. There are pictures in here. She tells you the difference between a ghost and a spirit. Yeah, a lot of good information. How she learned to see ghosts and on and on and so on and so forth. So tomorrow night, I'm really going to dig deep into that. So I didn't want to bore people too much, especially for people that yada, yada, yada. I'm here for the bachelor party watch along. I am not here to hear about ghost hunting or investigations into such. Okay. So let me read some of these off here. John said, first saw Bachelor Party when I was 8 or 9. I rented it on VHS when they re-released it by Fox. My parents were the drizzling shits while monitoring my viewing. LOL. You say, I just figured, oh, it's Tom Hanks. I like big. Exactly. And this was a little bit different. Texas says, LOL, John. I had seen it on cable so much. And then when I moved to San Francisco, it was the first thing I saw on broadcast TV, and they kept the news at the end. I was like, wait, WTF? Yes, exactly. Mayor, you say, I first saw it at my local cinema. I probably went to see it 2 or 3 times. And I used to have Bachelor Party on VHS recorded off of cable. Need to get a copy on Blu-ray. Texas says, I definitely need a copy of it myself. So, we are going to get started here in a few minutes. I may wait till 7:45 to actually go ahead and get started. It doesn't look like Uncle Bill's going to show up. He may show up later. I did give him the invite, but he's a busy man, so it may come to him that, oh yeah, I said I might be on that watch along with Dana, so he may show up yet. But I do want to remind everybody of some other upcoming things other than the ghost hunting investigation or ghost investigation, paranormal investigation, whatever you want to call it, tomorrow night, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Again, some of the upcoming watch-alongs I got coming up. May 20th will be Eyes of a Stranger. I've got to come up with something for the 21st. I haven't just yet. May 27th will be Happy Birthday to Me. June 3rd will be Killer Workout, followed on June 4th by Death Ball. On June 10th will be Bloody Birthday, which is a film we're having the watch along for after my birthday, which is on the 6th. June 11th will be Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Okay. And in addition to all of that, I don't know if I'll be doing anything Tuesday, but Wednesday, TJ and I, barring anything happening, TJ and I will be doing the second half of the first season second half of the second season of Monsters episodes. So you guys can look forward to that. And then on Thursday will be Dirk and I, plus anybody else that wants to join us, for another paranormal experiences episode. So, got all of that coming up, and who knows, I might have some more stuff in the works. Just keep a lookout for it. Mary, you say, if Uncle Bill doesn't show up, I'm going to give him hell on Dead Pit's next live stream. Well, again, in his defense, he may have forgot because it was late when we were talking about that after midnight last night. So, or he may have had to do something with his family, his kiddos, or something. And um, I totally get all of that. So, guys, I am going to. I'm trying to say, you ever forget things like that? I have a lot of things I heard years ago in old places, but I forget them. It's been so long. I do forget things like that from time to time, John. And actually, I meant to cover a lot of mine on the first one of these paranormal experiences episodes or streams I did. And then as Darren was mentioning some of his, I thought of some more that I shared. So who knows? I might think of even more of them. John, you say it's hard to recall exactly what I heard, but I remember odd things in these old churches and places near my hometown. I think everybody does. Pretty much every hometown has their own little things, haunted houses, haunted businesses, different things. But guys, it is now 7:45, but I'm gonna run to the restroom really quickly and probably get a little something for my headache that start back up again, and I'll check on Brandon and I shall return. If Uncle Bill shows up, tell him Dana will be right back. Yeah, Mayor, you say I just saw the I'm a Virgin shirt. Yeah, that's Steve's I'm a Virgin Islander shirt that he got with his extraterrestrials, extraterrestrial visitors, aka pod people. I know. Here, you say, I mean, who does Steve think he's fooling? So I'm going to put on my hat back on to cover my messy hair. Um, yeah, I think Steve's snoring because I had to go back to the restroom and I heard him. I heard snoring coming from the bedroom. So yeah, he's in the sleep zone right now. So I'm guessing Uncle Bill didn't show up. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. But before I get started, does anybody need me to repost either or both of the links? One of the links is to watch the movie online. Uh, the other link is to join me live on the stream. Okay. Uh, John, you say if I did that, I'd wake up at like 3:30 a.m. And you know, John, I tried to tell him. I think that's why he wakes up repeatedly, in, at different points and times in the night or early morning. But he doesn't listen to me. But yeah, he does say that. He says I'm tired all the time, Dana, and I'm tired a lot too as well. You say, but I get it. I'm tired most days. So, so let's do a check and make sure everybody is queued up. And if y'all can bear with Brandon barking a little bit, he'll eventually calm down. I hope. It's just he gets in these modes and he's old and feeble and all that. He's not in pain or anything, but I don't think he actually knows what he wants, but I think he wants somebody to be in there with him. But if I have him back here with me, he's going to get tangled up in cords and whatnot. So I just put him in the kitchen. Um, so you guys let me know when you're all queued up and ready to go, and we'll go ahead and get this party started here with this watch along. I actually have mine queued up to on my Blu-ray to the 20th Century Fox logo. It's just fading into that. So if you guys want to get queued up, for those of you that are going to be watching along to that, um, a few of you can just let me know when you're queued up. That way I don't start before you're ready. Okay. So, oh goodness, guys. Oh, Texas, you're ready. Mayor, you say all queued up for Tom Hanks' best film. So that's two. I'll wait about another minute, and if nobody says, "Whoa, whoa, wait, I'm not ready," then we'll go ahead and do the countdown. John's got two thumbs up. I would assume that means he's ready. And guys, remember, just because you don't say that you want to join in live on the stream now doesn't mean you can't later. So I guess we're going to go ahead and get started here. So 3, 2, 1, press play. Oh, that's okay, John. You say you would join. May go get dinner in a while, so we'll watch here. Mayor, you say, I think it means that John is hitching a ride. So I do think this is a very good role for Tom Hanks, by the way. Speaking of Tom Hanks, has anybody, And I'm not saying that this wasn't real. I haven't really watched it because I don't really want to see Tom Hanks get upset. Um, but there's a video that's circulating on YouTube, and I'm not sure if part of it is clickbait or what. But it's basically they say that Tom Hanks was yelling and raining and raving at fans because they a bunch of people got too close taking pictures and stuff like that and almost knocked his wife down, which, like I said, I haven't watched the video in full with the talking and everything. It appeared that somebody almost ran completely over his wife, which I could understand him being upset. I think Steve would be upset, and we're not even famous people, if somebody ran over me and almost pushed me to the ground. Um, oh, Texas, you closed your tab by accident. Uh, John, you say, "Oh yeah, that is real," but it's one asshole guy pushing up on Rita. And here's where I think the clickbait comes in, because they said that Tom Hanks was yelling at a bunch of fans, and the video kept flashing back to this young person that was going. And but then you could clearly see there was one guy that was really almost running over Rita Wilson. Um, yeah, exactly, John. That's what I figured it was. It's not all fans, it's just one dude like a paparazzi, I think. And so that really irks me because Tom Hanks has always been considered the nice guy of Hollywood, or one of the nice guys of Hollywood, one of the nicest guys. I've seen other videos where a couple had just gotten married or they were going to get married, and who should come walking down the street but Tom Hanks, and he very nicely took pictures with them and all that stuff, and he didn't have to do that. And I've heard, other nice stories about Tom Hanks. And so it irks me when people try to make someone look bad based on an unfortunate set of circumstances. Being some asshole guy almost ran down Tom Hanks' wife, Rita Wilson, and he's not supposed to get angry about it. I mean, heaven forbid somebody should get angry about it. So yeah, that kind of stuff irks me. The other thing that I heard a while back, I believe, was that somebody was saying that Tom Hanks went to Epstein's Island, like he was messing around with kids or something. And I'm like, come on, people, just stop. Okay. Um, I will forever love Tom Hanks. So, John, you say it's very justified. And I was like, fuck yeah, good for you, Tom. I was glad he went off. Ha ha. And Tom Hanks is probably not a person that every day goes off on somebody. This is his wife, for goodness sakes. She could have gotten hurt, very badly hurt by that, by somebody being just inconsiderate. I love this one, by the way, back to the movie. I love this one. This guy is drinking STP because somebody put it in his cooler. He said, "Who put this shit in my beer cooler?" TJ, exactly. Celebs are only human. Try to be friendly 24/7 in public is impossible for even the same. Exactly. Um, John, you say he's cool. He did a signing recently for his book near me, and a friend went said he didn't sign books, but was very nice and talked for hours. Yeah, just as sweet as can be. Um, Mary said, "There's so many channels that use clickbait. The one thing that pisses me off the most is saying that someone has died when they're clearly still alive. Every single one of their videos is like that." Yep. Johnny say, "Yeah, it's not realistic. I don't trust anyone who's positive all the time. Kind of freaks me out." Texas, you say, "Definitely, Mayor. Those channels suck." So I pretty much love all of the characters in this, and there's Adrian Zemed, by the way, who we I was talking through it, but a little bit earlier, the very funny scene with Adrian Zemed and Tom Hanks and the woman with the big boobies wanting to get a picture of her child because Adrian Zemed is a photographer in this. Um, I mean, it's all, kind of innocent, you know, when we think of things now, especially, but I'm sure it was probably a little bit controversial at the time. And then he cannot pronounce any of this stuff. And these guys are getting ready to eat, and he's talking about stuff clogging you up with snot and mucus and all this stuff. Yeah, exactly, Mayor. Look at those babies. So Tom Hanks's character of Rick Gasco has got all his friends together to announce something. So we're pretty sure by the title of this movie what that announcement's going to be. Yes, John, exactly. This was the height of the 80s sex comedies. So he tells them he's getting married, and they don't believe him at first. So he assures them it's not a joke. They were going to go ahead and, let's order, let's have some food, So he says he's gonna no longer he's gonna turn in his amateur status and go pro. And now they're all mad at him. Yes, 80s sex comedies were the best, Mayor. This is a woman saying this too. I believe they were the best of the best at that point in time. Because like I'm saying, unless they were and even stuff like Porky's had a kind of innocence to them. I mean, yeah, it showed, sex acts, yeah, it showed boobies, yeah, in some cases might show full frontal. Uh, there was still such an innocence to the films then that we're never going to see again. Johnny said, I wonder how he feels about this movie. He never really talks about this or the Burbs much. Yeah, I don't know. I think on this Blu-ray there is like a short on-camera interview, like a vintage interview, not Tom Hanks now talking about it. Uh, yeah, this does have Tom Hanks interviews, but I don't think there are any new interviews. This is like he was on the set of this movie Bachelor Party, and they just kind of little snippets that they interviewed him about. I love Porky's too, Mayor, and I've said this before. Porky's was a movie that had to grow on me. For the first time I watched it, I didn't much care for it. Now I love it. John, you say, yeah, Porky's was classic. It had Bob Clark behind it too, so it was very well directed. Exactly. So now we're going to see Tawny Katane here. And Tawny Katane is Tom Hanks's uh, fiance. And she evidently works in one of those, I guess, like clothing stores that would be in a mall. And these girls are clearly stealing stuff, and nobody's paying any attention. And there's Tawny Katane. And I love Tawny Katane too. I know the poor woman had a lot of problems with like drugs, maybe alcohol too, which they say finally got the best of her, unfortunately. A little funny scene there where the dressing room doors were supposed to have been fixed, but as we can see, um, the other girl says, "What do you mean? They look great." And Tawny Katane is saying, "You don't see anything wrong." So, like, the girls' boobs are showing, or people's asses are showing at the bottom. Um, so now her friends are like, "Oh, Debbie's marrying Rick," um, and they're doing the girl thing. Looks like that girl's got chopsticks in her hair, by the way. Exactly, Johnny said. Yeah, said no hookers, Stanley, no hookers, no hookers. Yeah, and that is coming up towards the end of the movie where Wendy Joe Sperber, who was also on Bosom Buddies with both Tom Hanks and Peter Scolari, who sadly, I believe Peter Scolari passed away in the last, what, year or so, I believe. Um, Mary say, every time I hear Tawny Katane, I think of Wayne's World. And he says, I'm feeling Tawny. I can hardly contain myself. LOL. Exactly. I love, I mean, this scene here is a testament to what a great comedic actor Tom Hanks actually is. He's singing, and he's trying to make dinner for him and Debbie. And so he's joking around, yes, it's spice time, and the lucky spice is paprika. He's like doing a game show type thing. You've made me the happiest spice in the world. I can't do it like Tom Hanks, but and then he talks about it being a UN for dinner. There's Swedish meatballs. A little vino would be kino, and then he says, "I want some wine." So it's just a big, sorry guys, I've got the cough here. And he's like, all the burners are occupied, so I'll just improvise here. So he gets this little blowtorch out and he's gonna cook the meat because all the burners are currently occupied. Yeah, that's what people do, right? They blowtorch their meat. I don't think I've ever watched the sequel, John, and I really have no urge to. I just now noticed that creepy looking doll back there. She tells him he's a slob, and he says, "But I'm a fabulous cook." And wasn't Tom Hanks lucky? He got to kiss around on Tawny Katane a lot in this movie. And so she tells him, Mr. Chef, your vegetables are on fire. And he's like, oh, it's broccoli flambe. We're going to put a little wine on here. So she's telling Rick that her friends are going to throw her a shower, and he says not going to be as great as my bachelor party. So she's going to start getting concerned. So they're going to try this food, and so he said, "This is the food prison rights are made of," and then she finally gets to it. Our girl's coming to our party, and he's like, "Oh well, no, because it's a stag party." And she said, and he says, "And that makes the does stay home." And she says, "I'm not talking about does. I'm talking about hookers." And he's like, "Oh, those." He's playing Mr. Innocent here. So he does the guy thing. He says, "Women mean nothing to me. I love you." And she kind of turns off the fires and says, "You need to promise me." He says, "Okay, I promise." And then back to the passion. Okay. So this is something I always found, you know, funny. Like, so she thinks, I guess they're gonna make love on the table, and he's like, "You're gonna like it." And so I guess that, that's kind of like her nails on the chalkboard when he chases her with that like pan mixer or whatever it is. So this is Rick's brother, who's a doctor, and this is back in the days, I guess, where everybody had to get a blood test that was getting married. I don't remember Steve and I having to get a blood test. Do you guys, you married guys, John, did you have to get a blood test when you got married? So, Wendy Jo Sperber is going to show up. She is Rick's brother's wife, Tina. Uh, and so this scene is funny too. So he's left the needle sticking in Rick's arm. Stanley or Stan has. Really, I don't know if you know if that is something we were supposed to have had done, but nobody ever told us we had to. So yeah, you say that was 2015. Now, see, Steve and I got married in 2013, so I maybe we were supposed to, but like I said, nobody ever told us we had to. So he's making Rick promise, don't say nothing to Tina because she'll kill him if she finds out there's going to be hookers. So he told her he's going to a plasma convention, and so she's got her hand up some guy's ass here, and she says, "Hey, this is my brother-in-law. He's getting married." And so then after she's had her fingers up that guy's ass, she's wanting to like give Rick a hug, and he's like, "I gotta run. I gotta make sure the guy's got the hookers." Oh no. Stan told him don't say anything about hookers. So then he's making Rick get out, and he's chasing him all over the waiting room, saying, "I'll break your legs, I'll rip out your guts." And all these people are watching, and these are all potential patients. And he says, "I'll see you Saturday for the booga booga." And he says, "Out." And he also said, I'm sorry, doctor, I'll pay my bill." And then he says, "Miss Phillips, you're next." So this is Debbie's parents, who are very well off. And they don't much care for Rick because they think Rick's a loser. He's a goofball. He doesn't belong with their daughter. But I think the father hates him more than the mother does. So he keeps hitting these tennis balls over the fence. And you zoom out, and there's a bunch of these. And the guy said, "I'm going to burn the Thompson court right to the ground." So basically, now Debbie's father is saying, I want to cut through the BS. He says, I think you're an asshole. Now, let me correct that. An immature asshole. And, he's going to cut to the chase. He really doesn't want Rick to marry Debbie. Now he's wanting to make suggestions of how Rick needs to change. And then he starts in saying he's a slob and you dress like a bum. You're unmotivated, have no self esteem, and no thought about the future, and inconsiderate, insincere. I mean, he just goes on and on and on. And her cousin says, you should worry more about Rick's bachelor party. And she's like, she is worried, but she tries to act like she's not worried. I like that line. You think they drink tea and play Scrabble? So Debbie's father is still going on, telling him how irresponsible he is. He's a show off. He's vulgar. He's inappropriate. It's like, how freaking long is he going to go on with these put downs? And so Rick says, you're absolutely right. If I apply myself, I should be a changed person by the end of lunch. So he's basically saying the big F you to Debbie's dad there. Um, that, I'm marrying your daughter and there's not a damn thing you can do about it, and we'll live life as we please. Um, so he thinks they have a dog, but they don't. And he says that's a waste of good fat. Now he's starting to talk about they're going to have kids. I'd like to adopt this 17-year-old Korean girl I've seen. And you can tell by the exchanges that him and Debbie have that he's is fully kidding, can't talk. Now here comes Cole, Debbie's old boyfriend, the one that doesn't want to let her go. Debbie's clearly disgusted that her parents would have him over. Yeah, he says Bond, James Bond. Guys, I'll be right back. Let me go grab something. Oh, unfortunately, my blood sugar has been going down no matter if I eat or, what I eat, how much I eat, how little I eat, doesn't matter. So now Cole is going to talk to Rick, and he wants to basically buy Debbie. He's like, Rick, I want Debbie. And he says, I'll give you cash. So he wants to know what Debbie's book value is. So he's offering 5,000, 7,500, and he says 10,000 plus a toaster oven, a microwave, a Cuisinart. So Cole's acting devastated. And meanwhile, Debbie is still nervous. She can't sleep. So what does she do? She wakes Rick up. And he says, I got something for that. So she's basically scared about everything. The wedding, her parents, his parents, their friends, the caterers, her gown, his tuxedo, and she goes on and on. And then she gets to my shower and your bachelor party. And he says, how about the Middle East? You all right with that? Now, you guys that are in here, I hope this is how you comfort your lady when she's, stressed about anything. I know this movie is fiction, but I know there are guys out there that will comfort their ladies, like I said, during times of stress. But here, as this shot zooms in, you're going to see that they're both nervous. Because we're going to get a shot here of both of them opening their eyes, looking worried. So Rick is dropping Debbie off for her for her bridal shower, sorry. Um, and she's saying, can I pal around with you guys? And he says, we have manly things to do. And they don't want her to hang around them. And she tells him, remember, no screwing around. And he says, I swear on my mother's grave. And she said, your mother's not dead. And he says, well, if I mess up, I'll go back and kill her. So they sent Gary to get the women, the hookers. And here are the hookers that Gary thinks are going to show up at the bachelor party. And Gary's a little bit of a dork, let's be honest here. Okay, so who's this joker? Okay, that shows up after Gary leaves. Oh no, it's Cole. Oh, he's gonna mess things up a little bit. He's gonna tell the pimp, my friend hired some of your girls. He says, here's the new address. We don't want you to go to the hotel. We're sending the girls to his house instead. And then he gives him a 50. So they made it to the hotel. There's also some kind of convention going on. So O'Neill says he has a surprise. I flown in someone dear to us. He says a man who's traveled over 3,000 miles and somebody that they haven't seen since he left town. That guy's going crazy. Somebody they called Peckerhead. And Rick says, my God, her dad's here. But no, it's a friend, Brad Mullen. So they're like, where's Brad? Oh my God, there's Brad. He's a hugger, ain't he? Yeah, that's right. Guys. Well, Stan says he's whacked out his brains on drugs. Because I love everybody. And somebody, Rick asked, how's the wife? He said, I hate her. I hate her guts, okay? The bitch. And then he's like, you want to share this? And Rick says, two on a Quaalude. That's bad luck. Oh, he says he just wants to party and that gets everybody scrambling for the hotel room. Like that one answer, beyond the sun? Oh, that dude's the hotel manager, and he's not too happy with these guys. I love how he says, This is a respectable establishment, and then somebody comes in with a couple of people in a donkey suit. So back to Debbie's bridal shower. And I've been to bridal showers and baby showers. And yes, they are like this. Only I never had a chick eating um, cat chow out of a bowl. This girl's weird. So Debbie says that they found a bunch of pornos in O'Neill's car. And they made a few changes to them. And we're going to see what kind of changes they made. That's a nice hotel room. And I believe they're going to trash it. Nice condom balloons. He says, what a clever use of prophylactics. Nymphos Without Pants. Great title. Brad's upset again. His marriage sucks. It's a big pile of shit. To which Rick says, maybe your marriage should lay off the cranes. Oh, yeah, they don't care about the director and the lighting. So we see the changes that the girls made. So O'Neill says, forget it. This part's much better. So now the chicks are getting their clothes back on. And he says, I usually don't like my filth this clean. Exactly, Mary. You just take Farina cat down. And O'Neill says the dirty parts were there yesterday. But then they say Gary's going to be there with the prostitutes, the hookers. And there's Tina home for the bridal shower. And oh no, Cole sent the hookers there. So I'm guessing these hookers think that this is some lesbian thing. It says another one of these, huh? And another one says looks that way, and they say a buck's a buck, so they're just gonna do their thing. So they're like, they're not exactly sure what these chicks are gonna do, but this does not look good. But, this kind of stuff is left to the imagination. So they're all sitting around watching a Shirley Temple movie. Well, actually, Brad's watching a Shirley Temple movie. So Brad's talking about his wife again. So now Gary shows back up, and they're wanting to know where the hookers are at. So Gary's got to go back out and figure out what's going on. Golly, Cole can't take a hint. I mean, really. Did anyone order an asshole for room service? But thanks for stopping by, John. Hey, Darren. So this is a little bit of a longer movie than a lot of movies of this type. This is about an hour and 45-minute movie. So now Cole is offering to give Rick his Porsche if he will give up Debbie. So he's asking his friend, should I take the car or should I take Debbie? And one of his friends is going to go out there and he is going to. We know by this point in time that this guy's going to do something really bad to Cole's car. But Cole deserves it, right? Because he is an asshole. Now he's threatening Rick because his car's gone. So now they're going to get revenge. How they think this is revenge, I don't know, because the guy's probably ain't going to care. We're going to see male strippers. I've seen male strippers before. And I don't know, some of you guys might care if your women were going to see male strippers. Um, Steve didn't really act like he minded. I went a couple of times to a couple of different shows. But then I think after about the second time, I think he preferred that I didn't go to anymore. But honestly, the second one I went to, first time I went to see the Chippendale dancers, me and my neighbor. And that one was a little more, I guess, tasteful. The second show was like an all male review or something. And that one was a little more raunchy. I turned around and some guy was completely naked beside me in the audience. It's like, what in the world? So they all just want to get out for a while. But Brad says he's going to stay around. Oh, it's Debbie's dad. So he's going to fill in to this other convention going on. There's going to be a keynote speaker. So I must be promoting Elk's Head beer. There we go. You guys aren't going to be interested in this. Danny said, I think it's terrible women seeing strippers and treating men like pieces of meat. I'm only joking, by the way. Yeah, I figured you was. Mary said, one of the ladies in my group therapy went to Vegas the other week. I think I embarrassed her when I asked her, how was the Thunder from Down Under strip show? She probably didn't want to admit she went. Well, hey, but so they know what's going on. And now they know that Debbie and her friends are out there right now. O'Neill's just taking a peek there, and Stan's wife is enjoying this a little bit too much. Oh, I thought she looked familiar. Okay, that was Roseanne Caton from The Mothers. Okay. So now they're being introduced to Nick the Dick. Now they're just going to watch this unfold here. He's got their orders. Looks like mostly hot dogs and hamburgers. And her mother says, "Is that the foot long?" And he says, "And then some." This thing's kind of raunchy, but I still love it. And it's dawning on her mother what exactly is going on here. And her mom will not let go of this guy's penis. That's a lady that clearly wants her foot long. So Gary's getting some more hookers, and here's their pimp. He says his pimp looks like Gandhi. So he says he'll let them have the hookers for 45 minutes for $200, and then they got to go to other customers in the hotel. The pimp says, "Not 1 minute longer, or milk will come for you." And that's milk. And he says a line, "I just bit my balls and shook on it." So he can't find Brad. So where is Brad? Oh no. Brad is trying to commit suicide, not very successfully. So Rick's like, "What are you doing?" And he says, "Killing myself." He says, "Oh," and lets his head fall back in the water and then takes the stopper out. And he says, he gives this speech about marriage is a dicey thing at best. People say things they don't mean. And he says that Brad and his wife will work it out. That would hurt. He says pain is such a rush. This guy is clearly messed up. So meanwhile, Rudy is eating all the candy bars down in the hotel lobby. For this guy, they should keep those things locked up. Rudy tells Cole to check out the car. Sorry, guys. I'm dropping stuff all over the place. And of course, there it is. I'm always forever dropping the caps off my Coke bottles. So Rudy took a little artistic license with Cole's car there, and the horn is sounding like it should be in a Mexican restaurant. So they want to know where everybody is. Oh, there everybody is, and now there's lots of women here. Yeah, yeah, you gotta love the lines in here, Mayor. So now the girls are going to dress as hookers and go to the hotel. Here's the band. And now they're singing Why Do Good Girls Like Bad Boys, which is the song that TJ mentioned earlier. Okay, Darren, thanks for stopping by. You say you wanted to see how everyone was. Have a great night, and I'll catch you later in the week. I never really understood the alligators, since it's basically people getting on the ground and having spasms. It looks like. So Rick is going to do everything humanly possible to try to stay away from the bedrooms. So his brother's basically telling him what he already figured. So just everybody's coming over wanting a party. It's not just hookers now. Obviously, she's a hooker. So I don't know. I mean, this is a funny scene, what happens later between these two. But how he cannot tell that that is another guy, I'll never know. Now, this is what I've been waiting for. The Tom Hanks stuff is great. There's more Tom Hanks stuff to come, but man, oh man, is Adrian Zmed sexy in this particular scene. I know, I can hear you guys moaning and groaning, but when he sings Little Demon, there we go. So now, poor Brad is trying to slash his wrist with an electric razor. Rick says, what the hell are you doing? He just slashing my wrist. And because he couldn't find any razor blades, he's trying to use the electric razor. And so Rick's had enough. He's like, what is wrong with you? Just go out there and have a few laughs. To which Brad does a crazy laugh. And he says, go out and have fun first and then laugh. Okay. This next scene is funny. But it's also very cringy as well. Because I really don't need to see this guy in his underwear. Okay. So here's the big shocker here. Generally, ladies do not pee standing up. And they don't shake after peeing. Oh, at this point, he completely loses it, tearing his shirt off. Next thing we see, he's scrubbing himself vigorously in the shower. Oh man, that's a lot of pills. And O'Neill's still up there singing with the band. So you can clearly tell that that's not the actor playing Brad there that's doing all those moves. So they're going to get a donkey because they're going to have a chick come in who supposedly is going to have sex with the donkey. So Cole is still trying to get the best of Rick here and trying to ruin his bachelor party and also his impending marriage to Debbie. So now Brad is clearly having a good time. So that chick there that O'Neill is taking pictures of is going to be dancing seductively with the donkey here shortly. I think. Or maybe that was another chick. I don't know. So O'Neill says he's concerned because this is Rick's bachelor party and you haven't had sex with anyone yet. That's all these guys are concerned about. So Rick says he's already had tons of sex. He's just fast. So I hope a lot of you guys haven't dropped out because you're going to get to see something very nice and easy on your eyes here very shortly. They're talking about some girl named Tracy who had a big crush on Rick when they were in school. So he acts as if he's going to go in here and, have some fun. So they even turn this into a funny scene as well. So really, guys, this is a chick you probably all been waiting for. There we go. Full frontal nudity there, guys. So then all of a sudden the head changes to Debbie's head and she says, "You promised me, Rick." So then the kids from his school bus are there saying, "Go for it." Oh, and this is really bizarre. The head nun is, her head is on Tracy's body. And then his brother's head is on there. So he finally breaks down and tells O'Neill that nothing happened. Which a lot of times this happens in movies. I've seen it happen, in a more recent, in the last several years. The Wedding Singer, when Adam Sandler's character of Robbie thinks his friend is got it all, with a different girl all the time and stuff like that. And then his friend finally breaks down and tells him how lonely he is. In the same way that O'Neill says, "Frankly, I'm envious of you." But now Cole has decided he's going to become violent, take things into his own hands. Um, and now he thinks, well, I'll just take Rick out. That'll make Debbie fall into my arms if her lover is dead. Uh oh, so here's the pimp looking for his women. So he's literally got Rick in the crosshairs right now. And the pimp thinks that that arrow is meant for him. He's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here, and he's going to get milk. To which now Rick and O'Neill knows this arrow, and Rick wants to know, what is this? And then there's another one. So Debbie and her friends and her mom, evidently they think that this is how, hookers dress. And Debbie's telling them, remember, we're supposed to be hookers, act sexy. Uh-oh, and there is Milt. And of course, he thinks they are the hookers. And they don't know any better. They want people to believe they're hookers. So he says, you girls are hookers, right? And they say, yeah, of course we're hookers. Now they're in trouble. The boss said to deliver hookers. So now there's too little too late saying, oh, we're not hookers. And these look like some like Japanese businessmen. So now these guys are going to chase them around the room over and over. Sorry, guys, take my hat off, but I'm getting kind of warm. So now they're bringing Tracy to Cole's room, the room that he's got with the prior intention of killing Rick. So this girl, pretty much, I guess, is a whore. She'll do it with anybody, and maybe she thinks this will get her in good with Rick if she does this. And she's begging Cole to make love to her. And what red blooded male could resist that, right? So now they're going to take care of Cole, or try to take care of him once and for all. So he's naked. They've got the sheet wrapped around him, and he's saying, "Oh, you can't do this," and they're gonna just put him in a safe place. They say. Uh-oh. So he ain't just going to be hanging there. So a couple has just got there, I guess, for their honeymoon. He says there's a terrific moon out. There is a moon. I don't know if it's terrific, but I always find this scene funny. And then it switches gears, and the ladies are getting chased around by the Japanese businessman. Sorry, guys. I was almost. That's one of the dangers of me, like doing these sometimes. I get really sleepy sometimes. I'm going to have to do something to keep myself awake because I don't know if y'all saw me or not, but I almost dozed off there. I gotta quit doing that. I love doing these things, but sometimes if I sit here long enough, I will start to doze off. So uh, we still got 5 people in here. I can't really fall asleep. So the people, this couple thinks they're safe. They think they've avoided the naked guy. And then here's another funny scene coming up here. Oh, hairy ass. So Debbie's dad's getting ready to leave, and he sees, Cole looking all disheveled and stuff. He's like, they made me get naked and they hung me out in the window, and I was scared and I fell. Excuse me. So he tells Debbie's dad what room Rick and his buddies are in. And he tells him to go get some clothes. He looks awful. So there's a sex doll in there, and well, I think Brad has forgotten about his wife. I think he is literally having a good time now. So there's Max, evidently the magical sexual mule. And Max's partner. No, I guess this was a different chick. Miss Desiree. Debbie's dad is not going to be too happy with this. He's like, my God, what are you people doing? He's like, I knew you were a disgusting degenerate, but bestiality. So her father's convinced that when Debbie finds out about this, that she's not going to want to marry Rick. And O'Neill seems to be on the side of Debbie's father because he said, there's a phone back there. Go ahead and call Debbie. And Rick's furious. He said, she'll never speak to me again. And then O'Neill's like, I have everything under control. And he's like, hired help to the hookers. And he's like, follow me. Oh no, this poor donkey. I mean, he's minding his own business. He's eating some chips. But we see he's very close to all that cocaine and pills there. Oh no, he's eating the pills. And that guy's going to have a conniption here. The donkey's actually doing lines of coke. How's he know how to do that? Uh oh. So now they got to get rid of this donkey. And so people are complaining about Rick's bachelor party. So the hotel manager is planning on going up there. Oh no. There's a dead donkey in the elevator. So Debbie, I think, has come up with a plan to get these guys to leave them alone. So she's gonna get them in the bedroom and close the door, and she's like, "Let's get out of here." But her cousin, who has acted like men are awful, men are swine, they're pigs, whatever, and she tells all of them to go, get out of there. She'll hold them all. But what she really wants to do is have sex with all these guys. She's like, the gods have answered your prayers. Bonsai. Mary say bachelor party and clerks, two of the best donkey scenes of all time. LOL. Hey, welcome back, 71. So now Debbie has made it to the room and there's actually a guy from that convention that Debbie's dad was at. Oh, there's a couple of those dudes. Um, I think there's more than that. Must be several of them. So Gary is pointing out Debbie to Stan. So Stan is going to show Rick that Debbie is there. Debbie looks none too thrilled, guys. So Rick comes up with a plan. He says, he's going to play another trick on his beloved. So Um, Gary goes up to her, acts like he doesn't know her, and says, I don't think the groom has had you yet. And she's like, no, not yet. Where is the groom? And he's like, get in the bedroom. So she's going to go back there. And Rick's going to put on a hell of a show for her. He's going to act like he's done it with, 20 girls or more tonight. So he clearly knows it's Debbie, but she doesn't know that he knows. And she's like, damn you, Rick. And she's very angry now. So Debbie says she can't trust him now. She's going to leave. And he says, I didn't do anything. He says he doesn't want to, screw around with his friends. He wants her. So he gets up here and he's like, attention, everybody. And he's like, shut up, because nobody's paying attention to him. He says, have I had sex with anyone here tonight? Doesn't sound like 71's having too much fun tonight, unfortunately. So she's wanting to have sex with Rick, and they're going to go in one of the rooms. And he's like, no, Debbie, not that bedroom, because that's the room her father is tied up in with the hookers. So now the hotel manager's got the cops. I love all Oingo Boingo songs, Mayor. So everybody's almost running over each other, saying, "Oh, it's a raid." They leave her dad there, chained to the bed. Brad's still sitting there, just enjoying himself. He's being very mellow. So they did literally trash that hotel room. So that's, that's got to be the best clothing ever that Cole has on, or that he had to get. So everybody's pretty much going to get separated a little bit here. Cole's still intent on getting Debbie. So Debbie and Rick are separated. So, oh no, Gary's gotten handcuffed to Tim now. And he's like, he's standing up, not her. Oh, here we go. This is the part I think John was talking about earlier. She's going to let him have it. He said, no hookers. You said no hookers, no hookers. And every time she says no hookers, she punches him. Oh no. So Cole, is going to kidnap Debbie. That's a big thing that Cole says when things aren't going just right. He's like, shit, shit. I tell you what, Cole's breaking all kinds of laws here, guys. I can't believe that guy on the back of the truck putting the cones down doesn't understand that something's obviously wrong here. Okay, guys, I'm going to step away for 1 second. I know there's not much time left to the movie, but I will be back here. Okay. So this is still, I guess, at the time when 3D movies were still kind of big. So I like this little line here where she actually gets punched in the face because she's Now she thinks the 3D is fantastic because her date was saying, "This is the best 3D I've seen." And she was like, "I've seen better." And then she gets punched in the nose. So Rick got his woman back, and so Brad says, "Nobody's going to stop me here." And what's he going to do? He's going to drive Rick's school bus. Well, keep in mind, this is a 3D movie people are watching. He's like, fuck. Oh, no. The bus. I wonder who had to pay for that. But everybody in the audience loves it, right? So now Rick and Debbie are officially getting married. So Rick says, he doesn't even kiss her. He says, I got to make this perfect. I got to get something. And there you go. And he says, "We're married now. This is legal." So it's Rick's bus, but who's going to be driving it? Oh, no, it's Brad. Brad's still having a good time. So I hope that they make it to the airport safely. And that's the first time I've ever seen a just having sex sign on the back of a vehicle that's taking the honeymoon couple. So here is the Oingo Boingo song Bachelor Party, which is a great end to this very funny movie, very entertaining movie, a movie that I can watch anytime. Um, and yes, that was Monique Gabriel as Tracy, in case you guys missed that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tonight. I hope it was something a little bit different. Instead of doing two horror movies every time, I've been trying to mix it up a little bit and have a few comedies and different things like that in the as far as the watch-alongs. Um, and I'm sorry if I almost seemed to doze off. In case anybody was noticing, I kind of went like this and jerked awake. I'm not sure what's making me so tired other than this, possibly this sinus infection that keeps lingering around. Um, but I want to remind everybody again, for those of you that weren't in here earlier when I was talking about it, I am planning on doing like a mini paranormal investigation live stream tomorrow night starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So, those of you that are interested in watching me as I use some of the equipment, the EMF meters, the spirit box, voice recorders, all of that good stuff. Um, Make sure you're here at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and we're going to have a hopefully we get some evidence. If we don't, I think it'll still be fun. I'm going to talk about, I'm not going to sit here and read a whole bunch of stuff from these books that I have, the books that I showed everybody earlier. But I will, maybe give you some pointers or something if this is something that you're thinking about doing maybe in the future on down the road or whatever. Um, so we're almost to the end of the credits. If there's anything anybody wants to bring up or suggest, or maybe some watch alongs you want to suggest, or something else you would like to see me do a live stream on, that is fine. Here's your chance. But there will be hopefully other chances too, in case you can't think of anything now. Gonna let these credits play out here. All right. I think we have reached the end of the credits, distributed by 20th Century Fox. And I think mine's going right into like the special features. Probably the trailer. Okay. So, again, I hope you guys had a great time tonight and enjoyed this watch along. I hope also people enjoyed the Prowler from last night. I hope some of you, if not all of you, will be able to join me for the mini paranormal investigation live stream tomorrow night, again, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Wednesday, I'm not sure if I'm doing anything Tuesday, but Wednesday, TJ and I will be doing the second half of the second season of Monsters episodes, followed on Thursday by another paranormal experiences stream. And Dirk will be on this time with me talking about some paranormal experiences and also some haunted places in Louisiana. And anybody else that wants to join in on Thursday, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, you are more than welcome. Friday probably won't be doing anything. But then, of course, we will have a couple of watch alongs this coming weekend as well. Okay. So, with all that being said, I'm not really seeing anybody else saying anything in the chat. So, I am going to skedaddle on out of here, and I will see everyone on the flip side. Y'all have a good night now.